And now for my next number, I'd like to return to the
classic. Time.
Hey guys, Alex back here with another video. Although it's not been 2 weeks since I've uploaded my last Final Find, it's definitely been 2 weeks since I've filmed it. A lot has happened. I've gained a lot of stuff since. A lot of 12-inch singles for my DJing, a couple of 7s, loads of albums that have now been crossed off my wish list. And thanks to my beautiful, lovely fiance, a nice new record box. The Gorilla ones, which are obviously which are my go-to make for record carry cases, because they're sturdy, they're lined on the inside with some padding, so if you are travelling, if the records do rattle, which they shouldn't do because they fit perfectly in there, but if they do rattle, they're not going to get damaged or anything. The only problem with the big ones is they're super heavy when they're full. Unless you get used to carrying them around, which obviously I was until COVID kicked in. So, and with gaining so much stuff in the time that I've not been DJing, I definitely needed another one. I may need a couple more, but I'm going to try and get some smaller ones, because I like to have all my 12 inches separated out into genres and have all the genres in one place. So yeah, that's that done. So let's get into the vinyl, because I know you guys are here for that. So let's get into the vinyl, because I know that's what you guys are here for. Like I said, I've crossed a lot of stuff off my wants list in this video. I'm going to start with the new vinyl. I've got some jazz to do, got a little bit of soul, even got some reggae, which I've said from the beginning of this year I've wanted to add more reggae to my collection, because reggae is one of my smallest sections, but we'll get to that when we get there. So starting off with the brand new stuff that was sealed. I always butcher this band's name, so forgive me if I pronounce it wrong. Samande, I believe is how you pronounce it. For those of you who don't know this album, it's funk with sort of an Afrobeaty influence to it. This is a 180 gram repress, because let's face it, I cannot afford an original press of this album. Really cool looking cover. I've always liked the Simon the album covers, but this is really cool. This is their first album, just called Samande, and this is for sure my favourite of their albums. It's on the Alaska record label, so it's obviously not the original record label that it came on. But it's still nice to finally have a decent copy of this in my collection. I've been looking for it for so long. And I finally have it. So, I mean, I would have loved an original press, but let's face it, unless I have my own record shop, I'm never going to be able to afford one. I'll probably never see one anyway. I'm not that bothered about owning an original with this, as long as this one sounds good. I haven't played any of this stuff yet, because I've still got a backlog of stuff I'm still playing, but I would assume this sounds good because well, it's Samande. No need for any introductions there. Dylan from Noble Records also praises this album, because I believe he had a collection once, and Blind bought this, played it and loved it. He also showed this in his 20 albums you must own video, which I agree, this is a must have if you're trying to get into funk. Really, really good stuff. So Cymande, their first album, I finally had that on vinyl. And onto some British hip hop for new vinyl, and then we're done. This is G-Bag and Ill Informed. Ill Informed is the producer, G-Bag being the rapper on this album. The album's called Respect Your Elders. This album came out in 2020 and has literally sold out almost everywhere, so good luck trying to find one if you like it. I will give you guys a needle drop, but I'm not going to give you guys a needle drop of this. Basically, G-Bag, I commented on something on his Instagram and he followed me back, which was nice. And he then sent me a couple of 7-inch singles, one of which is signed. This one is signed to my DJing Instagram, Soulboy Alex. But really nice that he sent me 2 copies of that. So I'll give you guys a needle drop of this, the song Foreigners, which is on this album. Basically the first 3 sides is the album, and then side D is all remixes by Ill-Informed remixes, which is great. But all the beats on this are produced by Ill-Informed as well. Which is really cool. It's a bit of underground UK hip hop, but it's not what you're probably used to hearing UK wise. It's very American influenced with the beats, sort of a boom bap influence. But what the things that they talk about, a lot of Brits will be able to relate to, like growing up in England and stuff like that. Which is why I like a lot of this UK hip hop stuff. But G-Bag's one I discovered through a friend of mine, and funny enough, that friend of mine happens to know G-Bag personally, which I think is quite hilarious how that ties in. But yeah, G-Bag and Ill-Informed, Respect Your Elders, and here is a needle drop of the song Foreigners.
Yeah.
On to all the 12-inch singles that I picked up. Where are we? There we are. So, here's the little stack of 12s. Pretty decent sized stack. Most of these are charity shop finds, which is tends to be where I find most of my 12-inch singles now, because obviously there's no record fairs until now. I think the next one's in June or July of this year, and given how me and my fiance are saving for a wedding, I probably won't be getting anything from there. But I do have a few 12-inch singles from a charity shop here. I have Jocelyn Brown, Someone Else's Guy. Big R&B song, especially in the British 80s soul scene. Then there's a dub mix and a cappella on the back. TLC, Girl Talk. I've been getting into a lot of TLC recently, or kind of reconnecting myself with TLC. So of course had to grab that 12-inch single. I wish I had some of their albums, but unfortunately the only one that I've been able to find is still a little bit out of budget. but hopefully at some point I'll add some TLC vinyl to the collection. Some albums anyway. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, The Message. I didn't have this one yet, and as a hip hop fan, I really should have grabbed this sooner, but I finally have it, and there it is. Slave, Do You Like It? Back to You and Me and Steal Your Heart. I think this is one of their more R&B based songs instead of one of their more funk based songs, but still a great one from them. The Whispers, It's a Love Thing, backed with Girl I Need You, one of the bigger Whispers tracks. Really enjoy that one. This one, however, is not in fact from a charity shop. This one's actually from a friend of my boss at work. He had a spare copy of this, and I was looking for a copy of this because it's one of my favourite R&B songs. And so he sent me one, and luckily I played it earlier, and despite what the vinyl looks like, it actually plays really good. It's Active Force, Give Me Your Love. I will give you guys a little needle drop of this one. Yeah, there's a little bit of writing on the cover or on the label, but I think that's where, because he's a former DJ, he's probably marked it to know what side to play, because I know some DJs used to do that. But yeah, Active Force, Give Me Your Love, from 1983. It's backed with My Sunshine, but the only song I really have this for is Give Me Your Love, because like I said, it's one of my favourite songs. Really needed a copy of that for the collection, so I have one. My bosses went out of town to look at a collection for the shop, and they came back with about 1,000 records. They could have come back with more, but obviously they ran out of money. But they said they had a few things for me in the that they picked out especially for me, and one of them is a 12-inch single, and the other two I will get to in just a moment. 12-inch single is Jay-Z, Hard Knock Life, which is one of my favourite Jay-Z songs, and that's probably just because of the sample, which is obviously from Annie. But yeah, this is a great Jay-Z song. I really like this one, so I had to have that. I actually do quite like Jay-Z. I'd maybe put him in my top 5 favourite rappers. I do really like a lot of his stuff. But yeah, Jay-Z, Hard Knock Life. So I also grabbed two more. They also had two more things for me. One of them, if you rewind back to the last video where I said Herbie Hancock was my find of the year, I think I've topped that. And if I haven't, then this is definitely close. But I've been looking for a copy of this for about 2 years. And when my boss handed this to me, I was almost like, wow, gobsmacked. It's the soundtrack to Superman the movie. It's not a very expensive soundtrack. It's just one you don't see because, well, it's John Williams. And John Williams is really popular where I live, so anytime John Williams soundtracks come through, they go straight away. And obviously this one, Superman the movie is not just one of my favourite films, but it's one of the ones I would say is like a perfect film. And so I needed the soundtrack to this. And I mean, I needed it. I wish I'd found this last year when I was really actively seeking out soundtracks. But this is still a great soundtrack to add to the collection. It is a UK pressing, I believe a first UK pressing. The cover's got a bit of wear and the vinyl needs a bit of a clean, but other than that, it is almost perfect. Like, I could not thank my boss enough for picking this up for me. There's the inner sleeves there with like scenes from the movie. If you've ever seen the original Superman the movie, definitely needs a bit of a clean, but there is on the Warner Brothers label. And wow. Yeah, Superman the movie. Really love this soundtrack. Really love this film. So that's a great addition to the collection there. Really love that film. And on the topic of what else they picked up for me, another album I've been looking for a while. Miles Davis, Tutu. One of his later albums, 1986 is the year on this album. This is during his like jazz funk phase when he was changing the direction of his music. And I think his wife at the time had a heavy impact on the way he looked at music. I think that's what the documentary said. It's been a couple of months since I've seen it, but I do believe his wife at the time sort of had an influence in the way he changed the direction of his music. And you know, Miles Davis was very into playing the music, his later music, not his older stuff. He didn't like playing his older stuff. But yeah, Tutu, I have it just for the song Tutu. That's really the song on here that I really like. There's a couple others that I really like on here as well. But mainly just for the opening track and the title track, Tutu. I have this album, and it's still got the red sticker on the side, and this one here, which you never really see on this album. They normally come without it. But yeah, Tutu by Miles Davis. Great album. And along the lines of, well, I believe this is a UK pressing of this album. It does have the original inner sleeve as well, which is really nice. Custom Warner Brothers label there. I think it's UK press. I'm pretty sure it's a UK pressing. But yeah, that's a nice little addition to the collection as well. Miles Davis Tutu. So super stoked to have my boss pick this one up for me as well. So there it is, Miles Davis Tutu. And on the subject of Miles Davis and jazz in general, I do have a couple of other albums to show you. The other Miles Davis I picked up is Miles Davis Phileas de Kilimanjaro. I know I've probably butchered that name, but this album, I took a stab in the dark at this. I sampled a couple of tracks on YouTube and really liked what I heard. This is a US press, by the way. And I think this is a 2002 repress from what I can work out. So I don't know what the actual vinyl sounds like. I know it's a pretty clean copy. Which you never really see clean Miles Davis stuff. It's on Columbia, which is how you know it's an American press, because in Europe and the UK especially, all of his stuff came out, all of his earlier stuff came out on CBS, not Columbia. Yeah, Miles Davis, Fearless to Kilimanjaro. Really happy with this album. I know it's originally, I forget what year it's from originally. I think it's like 1969 or something like that. But yeah, I'm super happy with this album. Cannot wait to give this a spin and listen to the album in full. As I've said in previous videos this year, Miles Davis is one of the artists that I've been wanting to add more of to my collection ever since I saw the documentary on Netflix, Birth of the Cool. That documentary really gave me a newfound respect for Miles Davis. Like, I knew Sketches of Spain and Bitches Brew already, but I didn't know much of his other stuff, and now I'm exploring it a little bit more. I've got more of an open mind for Miles Davis, and as you can see, I definitely have done wonders for the collection here with a couple of Miles Davis albums, Tutu and Kilimanjaro. But they're not the only jazz albums that I picked up. I managed to find a copy of Monk, Thelonious Monk, Straight No Chaser. Another US press. The difference with this one, obviously at this time he was going off the name Monk. I forget what year this is from. I think it's 63 or 64. I think this is a 70s repress though, because it's a gold stamp promo and a really nice copy of this album. Again on Columbia, which I'm really happy to add some more Monk to my collection. Monk's another favourite of mine, and again, much like the Kilimanjaro album of Miles Davis, I did sample a couple of tracks on YouTube before grabbing this one, and I'm super happy with the way this album sounds, so I can't wait to spin the album in full. There is a bit of spine damage, but you guys know me, because I can't play the cover, I really am not that bothered about the cover on the album, just the condition of the vinyl, and this one's really nice, so happy to have that one. Right, on to the rest of the stuff here. Some soul, a bit of everything, and I'll probably, yeah, you know what? I'll show the reggae in just a sec. What I do want to do is show you the other charity shop stuff I picked up, which is going to be good. There's some good stuff in here, and I've got maybe my best charity shop find ever in here as well, which I'll get to in just a sec. But first thing is Roxy Music, Flesh and Blood. I wanted to add more Roxy Music to the collection. I don't know this album that well. I think I know the song Over You and the title track, and I think that's about it off of this. 1980 is the year on here. Obviously, their second to last album. I'm a massive fan of the album Avalon. So if this sounds anything like Avalon, then I'll be happy. I know some of their earlier stuff maybe doesn't sound like that, but I'll be happy to explore with Roxy Music as much as I can. So there's the album Flesh and Blood by Roxy Music, obviously a UK pressing. Irene Cara. Don't judge, alright? This has the song What a Feeling on it. From the movie Flashdance. And, I mean, how can you not like that song? I decided to grab it for that album, but I might enjoy the album in its entirety. I just don't know yet, but I decided to take a punt on it because of that song. But yeah, Irene Cara, What a Feeling is the album from 1983. So yeah, there it is. Irene Cara. Just grabbed it for that one song, and if I don't like the rest of the album, then I don't know. Maybe someone on Discord will happily have it, but for now I'll take a punt on it. So there it is. Right, on to what is, like I said, probably my best charity shop find ever. And it's going to take a lot to top this than charity shop finds, because you don't really see this band ever, let alone in record shops. And that's Vivid by Living Colour. Yep, the black heavy metal band. If you guys are familiar with WWE as well, that's the reason I picked this album up, because it's got the song Cult of Personality on it. And there was a wrestler about 10 years ago called CM Punk, and he used that song as his theme tune or his walkout music. And this album's also produced by, or a couple of tracks on this album at least, are produced by Mick Jagger. So you know it's going to be good. But yeah, I quite like the song Cult of Personality, so I decided to take a punt on this one as well. Still got the insert with it, with all the lyrics and stuff like that, and all credits. And there it is on Epic. Really super clean copy of this album. Really enjoyed that. So there is Living Colour, Vivid. I'm going to move on to the reggae, and then I'll just show everything else. And we've not got much left to show, so let's do this. Starting off, some British reggae, a band I quite like, and that's Steel Pulse. This is their album Caught You. I don't know this as well as their other album. I think that Handsworth Revolution, that album's called. I don't know this one as well, but this is from 1980. And obviously all the lyrics are on the back. This is on Island, I believe. Yeah. So that's a great pickup. Can't wait to play that, because I know I like Steel Pulse. Cannot wait to give this one a spin and listen to it in full, because I did listen to a couple of tracks off of this as well. Liked what I heard, so again, had to grab that. But yeah, Steel Pulse, Caught You, great album. There. Clint Eastwood. And no, not the actor, the reggae group. Light's Shining. I believe this is more dancehall reggae, but I had another Clint Eastwood album in the collection and really enjoyed that one, so decided to give this one a listen. I quite like the cover as well on this album. Really, really cool. What is the label on this? Jamaica Sound. There. The only thing I don't like about this vinyl is how flimsy it is. It's almost like paper. Other than that though, I'm super happy with this album. And again, most of the reggae albums that I'm showing you, I've only sampled a couple of tracks. But still, I cannot wait to play the album in full. So yeah, Clint Eastwood, Your Light's Shining. Black Uhuru, Sin Semilla. I've probably butchered that as well, but some more British reggae. they're very much along the same lines as Steel Pulse, where they're more like roots reggae. I think roots and dub are probably my two favourite forms of reggae. But again, this is produced by Sly and Robbie, who are pretty well-known producers in the reggae scene. So had to pick this up, Black Uhuru. I don't think I had any Black Uhuru either, so this is really nice to pick up, and it's a cool looking cover. So that does that. Okay, the last reggae album that I'm going to show is in honor of someone who died. I think he died earlier this year. It was either earlier this year or late last year, but Bunny Wailer. This is Bunny Wailer live. I think this is a UK pressing, but the really cool thing about this album, this particular press, is it comes on a really cool see-through yellow vinyl, which I think is pretty awesome. It's from 1983. And he even covers a Peter Tosh song on this album. So that's really cool. Bunny Wailer. Really, really awesome. Shame he passed away. And I'm so happy that I finally have one of his albums. And although it's a live album, it's a really cool pressing of the live album. So yeah, had to add that one to the collection for sure. Right, sorry these videos are 30 minutes long recently, but don't worry, we only have 4 more albums to get through and then we're done. I'll show you the soul stuff and then I'll show you the stuff that's not soul and then we're done. So, soul-wise, Teddy P, Teddy Pendergrass, It's Time for Love. This album, I don't know this Teddy album that well. The only real reason I did grab this one is because it's on my favourite record label, which is Philadelphia International. There, you guys know that one. No, I pick up anything on that label, no matter what it is, because I know it's always good. And it's Teddy Pendergrass, who has a really amazing voice, and still has the original lyric enough with it as well. So that is pretty cool. I didn't have a lot of Teddy Pendergrass. I literally think I have about 1 of his albums. So this is a nice addition from 1981. So happy to finally add that to the collection. And the other soul album, the only other one I grabbed is Kenny Burke, Changes. This has his massive song on it. Where is it? What's it called again? I forget. Oh, Rising to the Top. That's it. I remembered it. Even before I could find it on the back. I believe it's 86, the year on this album. Oh, 82, excuse me. I was way off. But Rising to the Top's got a really cool bass line. And I don't know if I'll be able to get away with a needle drop of it, but I will try and get one. But Kenny Burke, really, really good funk, soul, really cool stuff. Yeah, it's on RCA, and you guys know the RCA label quite well, so I shouldn't have to show that off. But yeah, there it is, Kenny Burke, Changes. Right, we're down to the last 2, and then it's done. The Doors, Morrison Hotel. I didn't have a lot of Doors on vinyl. In fact, this is my 2nd album. And I think the last Doors album I picked up was about 2 or 3 years ago. In fact, maybe even longer than that. About 3.5 years ago, I think, was the last Doors album I picked up. It was The Soft Parade, anyway. But Morrison Hotel, I don't think it's their most popular album. I had it on the CD previously, and I think I played the CD quite a bit when I had it. I still have it now, but this is a 1973 repressing of their 19 70 album. I've wanted more Doors because I haven't got a lot and I quite enjoy their music. But you just don't see Doors stuff in my area a whole lot, and when you do, people try and charge you through the roof for it. So obviously had to grab this album because the price was right. Morrison Hotel. Yeah. 1973 repress of their 1970 album. Right, the last one was also another gift. And I know there's a lot of gifts here in this video, but that's kind of where most of my bundle is coming from now. But yeah, another gift from my boss. He bought another collection a while ago, or well, about a week ago now. And this album was in there, and literally the day before he went to look at this collection, we were talking about a track on this album. And I'll show you the album, and hopefully you guys know the song that we were talking about. The album is Bruce Hornsby and The Range, The Way It Is. And we were in fact talking about the title track, The Way It Is, which is one of my favourite songs from the 80s. 1983? 86, later than I thought. German press on RCA, but it's produced by Huey Lewis, which I really like, so cannot complain. Happy to have that in the collection. Really, really stoked about finally owning this album, and yeah, cannot wait to spin this in full. So that's it for this video, guys. My daughter's starting to create, so I better make sure she's alright. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys again very soon. Bye!